One of the bigger upsets in round 1, Diego Sotelo, number 28 seed, took out Jore Volk, the number 5 seed. You may remember Diego from earlier in the season beating Noto when he was ranked number 1 in the country. Not too much went down in the first period, some light hand fighting, but no real shot attempts. They were kind of just feeling each other out in the first match of the NCAA tournament. Second period, Sotelo gets choice and elects to defer, an interesting choice. Usually in college, when you get first choice, you take bottom so you can get an escape and a first point, which gives you choice in overtime. Deferring is saying, I'm not worried about you taking bottom, so let's see where this goes, so I have more information for later. Volk goes ahead and takes neutral, most likely afraid of taking bottom against Sotelo, who we find out later in this match is very effective on top. 30 seconds into the second period, Volk has a front headlock and a left wrist controlled. Sotelo really needs to get out of this position quickly. Easiest way to do that would be to grab the hand of the arm that's holding your head with both of your hands, posting it down and popping your head out. You can then look for some leg attacks after you do that. You can also pull the elbow down, reach into the armpit with your free hand, look away, and do a sucker drag, but an underhook on the right side would totally negate that. Either way, you need to get out of the front headlock quickly as you can incur a lot of damage, points and also physically. Volk snaps the head to the left, then replaces his arm with his left hand and then shoots a righty single. This is a really interesting setup. We used to do a similar motion with general hand fighting, but I haven't seen something quite like this before out of a front headlock. You would replace your left arm with your hand and then push at the head to maintain the angle you just got and give you time and room to get to the shot. Sotelo immediately grabs a shin whizzer and maintains kind of a good base, but he doesn't do much to break Volk down. He should be circling away from the position and trying to put more pressure on the shoulder to get a better position. Look for a Jonesy or Funk. Really just look for a different position altogether. As Volk comes up, Sotelo could try to cut back, throw his free leg behind the leg, reach behind the knee with his free arm, and try to pry Volk backwards, but that is often sketchy. If you jump too much, it could get called illegal, so I can see why he hesitates. But really, doing nothing with this position usually isn't a good thing. You'll get taken down eventually. Volk limps his arm out, immediately does a back trip, which is the easiest finish to do here, and gets his takedown. Volk is now winning 3-0. Volk doesn't try too hard to ride Sotelo out, gives up the escape 3-1, not much happens for the rest of the period. Sotelo gets choice and chooses top. This is truly an interesting choice. At this level, getting back points on top is not easy at all, so you really have to either think you have no chance to take your opponent down, or just think back points are the best option. Usually you don't take top, but Sotelo seems like he has something up his sleeves. We find out, however, Sotelo is a bit of a monster on top. He does a good job with leg riding and general crab riding, which is really cool for me to see because that's how I rode as well. 47 seconds left, Sotelo gets above 1 minute of riding time, so if the match ends with Sotelo still on top, he gets a point at the end, making the score a potential 3-2 Volk. 30 seconds left in the match, Sotelo has a deep, tight waist, chops the far side to start loading Volk up for a quick chop tilt. But Volk starts to roll into Sotelo. As Volk rolls in, Sotelo pulls that right shoulder down with his right hand and keeps the hips controlled with his legs. Notice how Sotelo's knees are still pulled up to his chest, feet are underneath Volk's legs, which he uses to then push Volk away from him and remain on top. This is a crazy good feel for this position and makes it really hard for Volk to roll through, keep him on his back for a few swipes, making the score 3-3, which would then be 4-3. Sotelo after the match because of riding time. Volk's side does challenge the call, the back points, but the call stands. Score is 3-3 with riding time locked up. Volk gives up an illegal call, I think, for pushing on Sotelo's head, which is a little silly in my opinion, but puts Volk in the hole a little bit more. Score is 4-3, 5-3 with riding time, with one of the biggest upsets of the first round of the NCAAs.